Okay, I've been talking about doing a quick video on quantum light healing, which is a healing modality that I developed over the past approximately 10 years. I am Reiki master teacher, initiate of shamanism and sound healer. Those are my certifications and qualifications that I have utilized to build this. Now, when I was doing the hands-on healing, it ended up being quite a bit different than traditional Reiki, and throughout the years I've just kind of developed these new modalities and techniques to get in and work with and clear the energetic field. Work with higher dimensional beings and other dimensions of reality as well. I use healing temples that are in higher realms, and we work with that energy and the energy of purification, emotional healing, as well as stabilization with the Flower of Life Healing Temple. There's quite a few that I work with, as well as the angelic realm. But what I do, and I measure the energy field. So this, I've shown pictures of this, and if you are familiar with energy healing, with the energetic body, this will make sense to you. If you're not, it's not going to make any sense, and that's okay. You may be aware of the chakra system. Most people are aware of 7 through 1. This is the root all the way up to the crown. Then we have the higher gateways up here. Okay, I personally developed this activation. It's an attunement and activation of the higher gateways. Most people's higher gateways are not open, and when these open, there's a full connection and full flow of energy from source, directly from source. So there's no parasitic energy coming in, there's no siphoned energy. You can get your life force energy direct from source, and you're connected to the cosmos. These are the higher gateways, okay? Lower gateways, a lot of people that I work on these are already open and activated, but not everyone. Most people are here, okay? So just the chakra system, in body chakras. There's an avenue to analyze the flow of energy, where it's coming from, if it's coming from source or source void, or if there's any distortions. I can measure the in-body chakras to see if there's distortions in there or lack of energy flow. Usually if there is a lack of energy flow, there is some physiological feelings or effect, okay? Not always, it depends on how good you are at cleansing your field. Once you get through this process of clarifying your field, then it's just a matter of maintenance, and you can do it through meditation. There's specific visualizations. I go through these a lot. The violet flame is a great one to keep your field clear. White fire, there's emerald flame, there's just transcendental meditation, so your mind isn't creating thought forms that then go out into your field. So there's a lot of ways to maintain it. Otherwise, getting a monthly or bi-monthly energy analysis and clearing, just to help you if you aren't sure or don't want to manage that on your own. So over here we have the frequency ranges, and Dr. Valerie Hunt measured the electromagnetic field of the human biofield, and realized that people that are just, get up, do their job, make their food, eat, it's day-to-day survival concerns, basically, they're resonating at 250. And then she measured all the way up to about 900 was mystic. So people that are really tapping into higher dimensional energies, higher dimensional consciousness, they're communing with other, their multi-dimensional self, they're really expanded, starts at 900. So 900 was the level of the mystic, all the way up to 200,000. Okay, so the mystic range was pretty wide and varied. As a collective, our frequency is actually rising now. Most people, I have never actually measured someone at 250. They've always been at least 900. So the collective energy is rising, and we are going beyond the 200,000 hertz. Now, I did not study this. This is not scientific. There's no scientific backing of this. This is just what I've noticed from my healing sessions, okay? So I've measured people's energy fields all the way up to 600,000, and these are people that are intentionally engaging in their multidimensional self, multidimensional travel, doing this consciously, they're able to manifest at will. These are really, really powerful. This would qualify as an embodied ascended master, okay? So then we get into the auric field. I'm jumping around a little bit here, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. Into the auric field, what can happen, and I've shown pictures of this, is so an analysis for me would look like, this is what a general analysis would look like. I'm just going to draw it out. And explain it to you guys so it makes sense. Okay, so say I just made all this up, just so you know. Normally I'd go through an entire analysis of someone's field, but this is just an example. So someone who hasn't done the Metatron's cube activation, a lot of times the soul star is already activated. So they've started this activation process. These three are closed: Cosmic Gateway, Universal Gateway, Stellar Gateway. Then we get into soul stars open, so they really are comfortable with who they are. They know their I am presence. They know the power of that. But then we have a little bit of, you can think of this as like a channel of energy. Okay, so if this is a channel of energy, it would be, you're still connected to source, even if those are closed. But it would look like this. I'm going to draw it out. So that, the outline there is the channel of energy. So if this was all open and clear, you would have a larger pillar of energy coming through your field to fuel the life force energy and your ideas, to help you travel multidimensionally, all that, and manifest quicker. That's what happens. So these blocks, these little things, are actually blocks in the field, and depending on how long they've been there, what caused them, they're usually pretty easy to clear, and I go through and analyze what caused the block. It's usually kind of vague, because it could be one thing that happened when you were 5 years old that kept repeating throughout your life. But once you recognize what it is, then you can actually shift that habit. It has to come to the conscious mind. If you ignore this, it's just going to continue densifying and building, okay? So those things have to be released, and the way they are cleared is actually pushed back into the chakra, and the body has to process them. Okay, so that's the importance of processing our traumas and our wounds instead of ignoring them, because when you ignore them, this block would come out here, would densify, and would grow. But if you are like, okay, I have this trauma from this time, I understand it, it makes sense to me, you can dissolve it, okay? Now, even with sound healing, I did this work with sound healing and took dissonant frequencies and scanned people's auric fields. And you take a dissonant frequency to the center of this block and break the block up. Now, this is still within the field. So completely dissolve the block with dissonant frequencies, and the person would remember and have visual memories and experiences of what caused the block. And then after that happens, you bring in harmonic frequencies and you heal it. And I do all this work quantumly. So I will either use dissonant frequencies if this doesn't move by my hands-on healing technique, in which I use a holographic version of your field. If that doesn't work, I use dissonant frequencies, and I always tune the field with tritone afterwards, after everything has been cleared. Now we have tears. This very outer edge of the field is called the catheric template. And this is what seals your energy in. So if you have a tear or a rip or a hole, what happens is energy can come in that's unwanted or uninvited, or energy can leave. So for instance, like I measure my field all the time, and there will be things that happen just randomly. They're really easy to correct because I'm always on top of my field. I had a tear up here. that tear was actually pulling energy out of my field and was affecting my lower 2 chakras. And once I sealed that, these rebalanced quickly. I didn't even have to touch them. So it's all related, it's all cohesive here. So we'll measure, see if there's tears, what caused the tear, seal the tear, and make sure you can maintain the work, okay? Then over here we have the Merkaba, which is your body of light. Most people, I have never measured someone who doesn't have their Merkaba actually activated now. Most people that come to me are already healers, but I have done sessions on people that aren't healers and they are still activated here. So this ascension path, this is the 24-point star of Christos Ascension. This is the highest frequency that I have been shown so far, body of light. This one, the Merkana, is the 5th dimensional body of light. It's a 20-point star. And this one is connected to the green ray, and this is the Merkana. So green ray is healing as well as science and technology. So Archangel Raphael, it connects you to the plant kingdom and nature. There's a more intimate, integrated connection with nature there, as well as a frequency jump. So after we work on these higher gateways, we will get into a frequency jump, usually about 100,000. So somebody that just does Metatron's Cube activation gets these opened, cleared, activated, really balances this pillar of light, will jump into the 100,000 range. Then once you get through the Merkaba, and Merkana, these are stepping stones to enlightenment and to accessing more dimensions of reality, as well as source energy, more information. It's just an expansion of the energy field. Once that's activated, most people jump to 200,000. And obviously everyone's going to be different. This is not set in stone. This is what I have witnessed from doing my sessions. Okay, from the 200,000 hertz range, I can help keep your energy clear and probably help some people get it up even higher with certain skywalking ceremonies. Are basically a multi-dimensional healing session where I take your astral form, your energetic form, your soul on a journey, and your soul kind of works through some stuff. And it's a really quick process, but it's very powerful. And sometimes through that, I can get people up to 400,000. But really, from this point on, it's your journey. And there's a lot of tools and techniques to really help you kind of move up higher. But this is the path that you have to actually do most of the work on. But keeping the field clear is key. So far, I'm not doing the Merkaba activation on anyone else, but I can get up to the Merkana. Eventually I will be doing the Merkaba, I'm just not doing it right now. This takes about 2 months to get through. The Merkaba, and Merkana. About a 2-month time frame to really get into that space. So that was a lot of information. I just wanted to explain this. You guys have seen it. And see if there's anything else on that I need to go into here. I want to show, I work with 3-dimensional images as well. A lot of people, the front of their chakras are clear, crystal clear, open, but then you start working with the back and you have a lot of distortions, especially right now. So that's what a distortion would look like. I'm sorry, these are terrible drawings, but it's just not an open flow of energy. So that's a distortion. And these are primarily past life energies coming in through the backside. They are older, past life things that are outside of your conscious awareness. And so through celestial purification, which is the holographic hands-on healing modality that I developed, we can get to all these and get these cleared. If there's blocks in your field, we can get to them through the 3-dimensional version, seeing exactly where they're at, and then we get in there and really move stuff around. I wanted to show you, this is the image of the energy field. So this is light emerging Barbara Ann Brennan. So she is brilliant quantum physicist, worked for NASA, has her own university. I think she has two now, one in Florida and one in Seattle, I believe. But all these books are extremely powerful and extremely helpful. So I do recommend, if you're an energy healer, to get into her work. She's very helpful. Or if you just want to learn more about it, it's very, very helpful. So the energy field kind of looks like this. It's similar to the drawing I have, only my drawings for more analytical purposes. But this is the Catheric template, where the tears, rips, or holes could be in the field. And this is what monitors the energy in and out of your being. And you can see here, it might be hard to see, there's cords. So this is illustrating how you grow cords to other people. There's a lot of other things in these books about energetic defenses, you know, people being clingy or grasping, and this all happens on an energetic level, which is what you tap into. So maintaining your field and keeping these cords healthy is really important. So as far as the point of all this is to help you to reconnect to your innocence, your purity, and your true soul self. Because what happens is all of these blocks and tears, the energy's coming in, the energy's leaving, the lack of flow of energy, it's just kind of chaos in your field that you don't need. So the more clear your field is, the more connected to source is, the more spiritually powerful you become, the higher your frequency. And spiritual power isn't a form of like power over others. It's more like accessing your unlimited potential. So you're able to focus on what you want without the fears or doubts coming in. A lot of people, you know, their conscious mind when they're awake feel very focused and positive and optimistic, but subconsciously they're doubting themselves. They have these wounds they haven't healed. They have these blocks that are keeping them stuck. And when you work with the energy field directly, a lot of these will come to the conscious mind, but not always. A lot of this unconscious stuff, the past life stuff, can be cleared with just dissolving the block or the trauma. But what happens is the energy starts working organically as it was meant to work. Your consciousness starts expanding. You can tap into more information. You're more intuitive. You can think thoughts and manifest those or precipitate those almost instantaneously. It depends on how clear you are and how your frequency range. Now, your frequency range is going to be adjusted based on the purity of your thoughts and your energy. So when you're up here, you don't have to worry about creating negative situations because you will have already resolved those issues, if that makes sense. So, yeah, this is the point. And then also there's just, you reconnect to the cosmic heart, to your higher mind, your higher heart, and those feelings of bliss and joy and love, those are just a natural occurrence. So life becomes a lot smoother. And granted, we're in a very chaotic time right now. We've all been disconnected. A lot of people incarnated on Earth specifically at this time to help transmute energies, to help raise the frequencies. So a lot of people are just holding high frequencies. That's all they're doing. They're working mundane jobs, but they're holding this frequency. It's a very interesting time. But getting in, looking at things, and analyzing what's going on, even if you've done a lot of healing work, sometimes there's tiny things that will come up. I found tiny blocks in people's fields that were creating physical problems. So what happens, again, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. It's just the flow that's happening. If you have a block in your field and it's been there for a long time, it will manifest as a physiological problem. So if, say for instance, somebody has a shoulder pain, most likely there's a block around their shoulder. Once we clear the block, it'll take some time, but that issue will resolve. But what I was saying is, even when you have the big blocks gone, there can be smaller and smaller ones just throughout the field that are just need to be cleared. And there's meditations you can do to clear those on your own also. And then the other thing I've been shown just recently is working at an atomic level or cellular level and working with photonic light and generating photonic light from the atomic level, which actually starts clearing the cellular structure. So after these big massive ones are done, then you have to get into the cellular structure and start clearing on that level. And that's when these frequencies really start getting up in these higher fields. So my goal and my job right now as a healer is to help people clear this so they can see their life path with more clarity, so they can see themselves, their authenticity, start working consciously with their multi-dimensional self and in a safe way, and really being focused and disciplined with using these higher dimensional spiritual technology. I call it organic quantum technology, which is basically just the pineal gland utilizing that in an intentional and conscious way to co-create the world. And so the clearer you are here, the more you understand and know yourself, the more expanded you are, the more powerful that becomes. And that's what we're working towards, because that's our organic and natural state. We've just forgotten it because of distortions in the matrix field. So anyways, that's the goal, is to help people purify, help people reconnect to who they are, their authentic nature, their individuality, and then to build on that. And the more you clear, the more you can see that with clarity, okay? If you guys have any questions, want to book a session, want to do an analysis just to see, please shoot me an email at mariah@onepreciouslight.com.